Hey, it's Jeff Williams here, and I've actually found myself with a lot more spare time today than what I thought I was going to have, so I thought it'd be a good idea to drag myself off the couch and make you a video. So I've just written down some ideas that I'm going to go over with you, and I really think you're going to find this really interesting because I've got some really fascinating ideas to share with you. Now, you might have heard me talk before about the research that I've done where I've sort of reverse engineered the reasons why some musicians go on to reach genius level while most people don't even come close. So I thought it'd be interesting to go over a few concepts that separates a genius musician from an average one. And I know it sounds kind of amazing that there are methods you can use to bring you close to genius level, but it really is true that there are certain concepts and methods that you can use to make this a reality. For example, you might have heard of something called Socratic method, which is a method of accelerated learning. And back in late classical Greece and Renaissance Europe, this method actually produced 10 million times the rate of world-class geniuses that we have coming from today's teaching methods, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. And another thing is, it's actually becoming more popular and also supported by research studies that there is actually genius abilities in everyone. It's just that most people don't know how to access these abilities. So what I want to do is go over a few ideas that I think are crucial if you want to really move forward in your songwriting and composing and take things to a whole new level. Now, these are probably a little bit more advanced concepts than the ones that I've been talking about in the last few videos. So for this reason, if you'd like me to go into further detail on any topic that I discuss, feel free to just leave a comment below in the comments section and let me know what you would like to know more about, and I can definitely do some more videos in the future to cover this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to quickly talk about is that every single musical genius that I've researched and studied has a mental condition known as synesthesia. And to give you a quick example of what synesthesia is, it's when your brain takes in a piece of information and represents it with multiple senses. So for example, when someone with synesthesia takes in musical information, they might represent it to themselves not only as sounds, but also there might be a visual element involved, such as abstract images, shapes, or colors. And another example is they might represent the music both as sound information and taste information. So when I discovered this, it seemed to me too much of a coincidence that genius level musicians, composers and songwriters were all mentioning that they noticed these synesthetic relationships. So you might be asking, why would this help in the songwriting process? Well, I'll just go over a couple of the reasons. There's actually quite a few. Firstly, having this going on seems to give you a much deeper and richer understanding and experience of music. And I can attest to this personally because when I heard about this, I've since developed this ability, and it really does seem to give you a much deeper understanding. And another thing is, there's actually evidence that shows that everyone has these synesthetic relationships going on. It's just that they happen at an unconscious level. Now, what this means is that a person who doesn't notice these synesthetic relationships going on can still actually feel the effects of them. Now, the thing about listening to a piece of music is when you're listening, there's things that enter into your conscious awareness, and there's also the information that bypasses your conscious and goes straight into your unconscious. And both of these things actually contribute to the reaction that you have to the song. So what this means is that if someone with this synesthesia creates a piece of music, they can use their understanding of this to paint a picture with the colors and the images. And when an average person who doesn't notice these synesthetic relationships hears the piece of music, they still, the effect of this still impacts them. So it's a really interesting thing, and as I said, I can go into this a lot deeper later on if you'd like. So another thing that high-level musicians of genius level do is they understand how to use their unconscious minds to write their music and lyrics. And here's what I mean by this. Now, you've probably seen an artist being interviewed before, and when they were asked about their songwriting process, they began talking about how they didn't really understand how their ideas came to them. They just sort of arrived out of the blue. And you might have even seen musicians talk about ideas coming to them in dreams, and all they do is basically wake up and write them down, and then they've got their song. And a really famous instance of this is when, in a Rolling Stones interview, Michael Jackson talked about how he had many song ideas come to him in dreams, and because of this he didn't even really feel like he could take credit for them. But the thing is, it actually was Michael Jackson creating these ideas. It's just that they were being created at an unconscious level, so he didn't really feel like he was responsible for them. So this is two examples of musicians who are allowing their unconscious minds to create music and lyrics for them. And there are actually ways that you can deliberately engage this process and use the creative power of your unconscious mind in the songwriting process. Okay, so one more idea before we finish. Now there's this really good book called This Is Your Brain on Music, which was written by a neuroscientist slash musician, which is a pretty strange combination, but it's good that the book was written, and I think it's a really important book because it gives musicians like us a different perspective on how music is created and what it means. And to be honest, I actually forget the name of the author, but something important in this book is the author conducted experiments and studies to see if he could discover what makes a really great musician. And out of all the research he conducted, one of the findings that really stood out was something that he calls the 10,000 hour theory. And the main gist of this theory is that it takes 10,000 hours of doing a certain task to reach a world-class level at that task. Now, another interesting thing about this theory is it actually became quite clear that talent isn't the biggest factor in someone becoming a world-class genius in any field. It actually turns out that the biggest benefit of talent is that it gives the person with the talent the encouragement to continue to develop in this field. So talent does help because it encourages someone to persist at something, but it's actually the people who do a task religiously day after day, hour after hour, that end up reaching a world-class level. And one thing that I'd like to add is that with a really efficient development process, this 10,000 hour figure is likely to be much less. And I really believe this because I've shared songwriting techniques with musicians who've written back to me and said that they've ended up creating more high quality ideas in a few weeks than literally the entire year before that. And I've also experienced these types of results myself. So just to give you an idea to quickly speed up your development, one of the ways to quickly amplify the development process is to set up a large feedback loop, such as recording your songwriting sessions where you create in a really non-judgmental manner, and then constantly listen back to these, and this creates a really large feedback loop that you can learn from and improve and develop, and this will really accelerate your process. So I really recommend that you give that a shot. So finally, I usually like to give out exercises as well as just concepts, but I didn't want to make this video too long. So as I said earlier, if you're interested in any of the topics that I've discussed in this video, and if you'd like a deeper explanation or maybe some exercises to make better use of them, just post a comment below and let me know, and I'd be really happy to make another more specialized video for you. So I look forward to hearing you, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you soon.